Hello there, welcome to Nerd.World and welcome to my latest in my trio of Santa related videos spread across all three of my channels. In this one today we're looking at 6 of the best television Santas, and these were surprisingly hard to find. I actually thought there'd be a lot more TV Santas aside from your average mall Santa or something in an episode of some TV show. No, there actually aren't that many, but I managed to find 6 good ones that stood out as some of the best. Before we get started, my shameless plug. If you like this video or anything else on this channel, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Anything that you think, any videos or topics or cult franchises, any sci-fi or fantasy universe you want me to cover, or even non-fantasy. I'm a big fan of things like NCIS and stuff like that too. I also have 2 other channels, Nerd.World Films, which is what it sounds like, it's this, but about films, and Nerd.World History, that's not like this, just has me in it talking about history. If you think that might be something you'd like, there's links in the description below, possibly in a little card. There probably won't be because I'll forget. But please like, share, subscribe over there if you think that they're good, and comment down below that perhaps you came there from this channel, because I am curious to see if anyone's going to those channels from this one, or vice versa. With that said, let's get started. Starting at number 6, kind of a quick one, we have got Nick Frost's Santa from Doctor Who. 2014 Christmas special, where he basically encounters the Doctor, gets stuck on a roof, tells the Doctor that I'm going to need you before all this is over. Sometimes a little ambiguous as to whether or not he's actually real, without spoiling too much of the story, because it involves brain-sucking crabs, the North Pole, a load of scientists, aliens, psychics, and a load of other weird stuff. But basically, Nick Frost as Santa is just awesome. And why not? He's brilliant. Nick Frost elevates anything he's in, including Doctor Who. It could probably use a dose of him now, actually. But him as Santa was just the perfect comedic fit and the perfect comedic foil for that episode, or Christmas special as it actually was. And he appears in various dream states along the way, where they never know whether they're actually awake or asleep, or is he a dream or is he real? Left up to you to decide. And at number 5 is one that was actually picked by my girlfriend, as she's a big fan of the show. I'd actually forgot about this episode and remembered just how awesome it is. Actually, how much I kind of like the show, which I shouldn't admit anywhere in public, but I've just put it on the internet. Santa, maybe, from Ally McBeal. This was a character who was being prosecuted, and the lawyers of the firm were defending him and trying to prove or disprove whether or not he really was Santa, or whether it really mattered. They, of course, didn't really believe he was Santa. Was he crazy? Was he harmless? But he knew things about them. He'd make a comment about how when you were 6, you wanted this. You were such a lovely person back then. And you're like, how did he know that? It was a fun episode, a Christmassy episode of a very bonkers show, if you really remember it. It had dancing hallucinogenic babies, and you know, Ally McBeal was nuts to begin with. She was clearly delusional. The woman had psychological issues, but the show was entertaining. And that Santa stood out as one of its standout episodes. It was fun, lighthearted, and kind of heartwarming. Number 4, we have got Santa Claus, of course, from The Simpsons. Now, being The Simpsons, there have actually been a few nods, mentions, winks, or whatever to Santa Claus throughout the many years that show has been on the air. The one specifically that comes to mind for me is a relatively recent one, where Santa Claus crashes on a deserted island, or what he thinks may have been deserted, but it was actually currently inhabited by Abraham Simpson and Montgomery Burns, who have been shipwrecked there for a number of years. Have been shipwrecked there for a while. And Burns tries to steal his sleigh so he can get back to civilization, and in the end they help him, and everybody gets home and gets where they want to be, and everything's good. But it's a fun episode of The Simpsons with, again, you get to see a young Abraham, which is always fun, because young Abraham was always is always a fun gimmick character to see, a sort of not as dumb version of Homer when he was younger, basically, but in better shape. And then you've got always the ever evil Mr. Burns trying to basically murder Santa and Abraham and steal all the presents and Christmas for himself, basically. I imagine what he was really thinking. Fun episode of The Simpsons for later seasons that I know dip in quality somewhat according to some people, but I can still enjoy them, and this was a good outing of Santa and The Simpsons. Now, to be truthful, number 3 is a little bit of a cheat, but they were still awesome. And we're talking about the robot Santas from Doctor Who again, another Christmas special, a bit of an older one though. But they were basically masked robots dressed up as Santa playing musical instruments that were really alien weapons. Doctor Who. Only that show could get away with something so stupid and so actually kind of awesome. Not terrifying as you might be maybe to a child, but no, funny and awesome. And I'm going to pick them because I like them. I did have other Santas, but as I said, there's actually fewer television Santas who are actually worth even talking about than you'd think. So yeah, these are a cheat. They're not really Santa. They're actually alien robots dressed up as Santa. But who's to say the Santa in the mall isn't an alien robot dressed up as Santa? I mean, you don't know what's under that beard. It might not be real. And number 2, we have the definition of what a scary Santa really is, because as an old friend of mine I used to work with used to put it, the idea of Santa's kind of creepy anyway. It's an old man breaking into your house and emptying his sack all over your living room. So here's that old man. This is an episode from Tales from the Crypt where a woman who's very selfish, very evil and very manipulative decides to murder her husband for reasons that I can't remember, to be honest, off the top of my head. I'm sure she had good reasons. I'm sure he deserved it. Because, you know, when that Tales from the Crypt episode wouldn't lie to us about something like that, so I'm sure she did. And while she's doing it, unfortunately, there's an escaped mental patient played by the great Larry Drake, her Dr. Giggles. The man's awesome. Anyway, he is escaped from a mental institution and he's dressed as Santa and he's trying to get into her house and now murder her in, I don't know, the Christmas spirit of revenge. Revenge is a dish best served cold by Santa in the middle of winter in December on Christmas Eve, as we all know. And at number 1 we have, who else could it have been? The most symbolic Santa, the most giving and strictest adherer to the Santa Claus code of naughty or nice. The best, the one, the only, Robo-Santa from Futurama. Of course, he spends all year planning for Christmas. He puts so much of his effort and will and mind and time into making sure that only the most, absolutely the most deserving Zoidberg gets a pogo stick, and that's it, probably in about 200 years. But he found the best behaved little boy in the whole galaxy. Robo-Santa was originally built by a robot company trying to make the perfect example of Xmas cheer. A robot that would do the job of the fictional character of Santa. Of course, someone we know is not fictional because he's depicted so often on TV and films that they wouldn't lie to us, right? He's real. Anyway, you've got this robot giving out presents, mostly coal and bullets, to the innocent, deserving population of the human race all across the world of Earth, from his slave world colony, his home colony on the Neptunian North Pole, where he keeps his pets, Neptunians, slaves, Neptunians, Oompa Loompas? Grunkalunkas? Neptunians, as his personal assistants. He then goes forth and spreads Christmas ammunition across the world to all the deserving or undeserving boys and girls who get a lump of coal shoved up their stocking really hard by this wonderful example of Xmas spirit. Robo Santa. If you're interested, by the way, I have just done a video on Robot Santa that's on this channel somewhere. Hopefully it went up before this one, otherwise I'm announcing a video that's about to be released right after this one, so if I remember, I'll put it up first. But knowing my memory, I'm likely going to put it up tomorrow or something, so there's a video possibly on this channel right now, made around the same time as this video, filmed before this video but probably put up after this video on this channel, depending on when you're watching this video. And if you've reached this point of the video and you now know about this other video on this channel, it may be on here somewhere, about the Futurama Robo Santa and how he's an innocent victim in all of Xmas, and he was created to do good and he didn't really mean any harm. And it may be up now. If you've watched this video way after I released it, it probably is. Unless I really had a lapse in memory, or got hit by a bus, or possibly an Xmas Robot Santa telling me how I've been a naughty boy. Either way, it might be up now. And I said that's the end of the list. 6 television Santas who stand out as either really comical, really funny, really interesting, very distinctive, or generally not your everyday boring mall Santa. And I didn't just want to do a list of 6 Santas that sit in a mall and have kids sit on their knee and tell them boring presents that they want for Christmas that they're clearly not going to get because they're going to get given a present of that Santa right there and then, that's probably got a bar of chocolate in it that's bought from the, nickel and dime store down the road. And then they go home and they're really disappointed that they don't get the pony unicorn. I wanted that pony unicorn anyway. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.